My research proposal is on socioeconomic effects on academic achievement. A little background on it. Over the past decade, the New York City public school system has been able to dramatically improve its high school graduation rates. The reason is that the New York State has lowered the standards of its signature Regents exam, which is a standardized test all non-disabled students must pass to receive a certified high school diploma. The goal of public education is to raise academic performance with those who have been historically left behind. President George W. Bush initiated a program called No Child Left Behind. Currently, the Obama administration has created a Race to the Top, which is an initiative to compensate administration and teachers based off of student performance. Okay, research was done recently in 2011. The New York Times actually did it on a school called a Village Academy, which is in East Flatbush, Brooklyn. Over 90% of the students graduated within 4 years, but yet only 99% of those same students met the state's college readiness standard. At a school in the South Bronx called South Bronx Prep, the graduation rate was also a little bit over 90%, and only 15% of those students met the college readiness criteria. Okay, why I chose the research? Basically, the reason I conducted this research on socioeconomic status and academic achievement is because I noticed a consistent pattern when I was at work. Part of my job as an assistant football coach is basically to recruit high school football players. All right, and part of that process is just gathering data, trying to help these guys go through the admissions process. All right, and a lot of these kids that I recruited, I noticed that their New York State region examination scores were very low. They were passing it enough to get their high school diploma, but I had trouble getting them through admissions. A lot of the kids were getting denied or either getting admitted, but basically being on probation as soon as they got here. And a lot of these kids are from low socioeconomic backgrounds. Okay, my research question is, does socioeconomic affect a student academic achievement? My hypotenuse, a student's socioeconomic status does affect academic achievement. The independent variable is socioeconomic status, and the dependent variable is low academic achievement. All right. A few terms is academic achievement. This is the outcome of education to the extent which a student has achieved their educational goals. Socioeconomic status, which is a measure of a student's family, economic, and social position based on education, income, and occupation. System, a collection of independent but interrelated elements or components organized in a meaningful way to accomplish an overall goal. Input, what enters the system from the outside. In this case, it'll be resources. Output, what leaves the system for the environment. The environment will be society, and basically the output would be academic achievement. Okay, a little bit about the literature review. In 2009, a national assessment of educational progress based on random samples of students in each state show that child in poverty adversely affects students' academic achievement. Single-parent households produce students with low scores on national assessment tests, and it is also believed that low SES, which is socioeconomic status, negatively affects academic achievement because low SES prevents access to vital resources and creates additional stress at home on the kids. Studies also indicate that mothers who are more educated have children who receive higher test scores. Also, recently established that many variables in the family background have strong direct and indirect association with students' success throughout school and in young adults, eventually educational and occupational attainment. Also, family size has been associated to student academic achievement as well. Students with fewer siblings are likely to receive more parental attention and have more access to resources than children who come from large families. And they also tend to do better in school with their performance. All right. The theoretical framework basically is the general's system theory, but the theory for this study stems from the system theory, like I just said, the input-output model developed by biologist Ludwig von Bertalanffy in the 1930s to simplify the world complexity to human mind, and make it more understandable. The development of the theory came as a result of the author's perceived need for a theory to guide research in multiple fields, including education. All right. This theory provides a common vocabulary unifying the several behavioral disciplines, a technique for treating large, complex organizations, a synthetic approach where the analysis is not possible due to intricate interrelationships of parts that cannot be treated out of context as a whole. All right, the research design will be using available records provided through the New York State Education Government Office of State Assessments. The participants will be randomly selected. There will also be self-reported surveys/questionnaires pertaining to SEC questions. The sampling instrumentation. All right, the samples. The students will be selected by systematic sampling to participate in the study. Half of the students will be from Catholic schools, meeting the requirements of high socioeconomic status, which would just tell us that they're more advantaged. The other half will come from public schools, meeting the requirements of low socioeconomic status, which means that they are disadvantaged. All right, and we talked about the research instruments would be pretty much the survey questionnaires to determine the parental income, educational attainment, and family size. All right, the data collection and analysis will collect everything through available records from, like I said previously, the New York State Education Government Office of State Assessments. We will send out a mail survey questionnaire to the participants. We'll mail out parent consent forms to the parents of the participants. The sample will be divided by high and low SES, and the survey answers will be coded and analyzed by SPSS. All right, protection of human rights. The survey will follow all the guidelines of the IRB. Also, the survey will follow the NASW Code of Ethics. And also, the survey will be anonymous for confidentiality. And participation in the study is optional, voluntary. Okay, so we're not forcing these kids. All right. That'll be the end of my presentation. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.